Okay, guys, on the Google Meet, I'm recording the meeting just to be up front with you. I've also shared my screen. So I'm waiting for a few of you to get in still. Okay. All right, so we're going to multiply two binomials today using FOIL, and we're going to multiply a polynomial by a polynomial using the distributive property. So there's a bunch of multiplying going on today. So you're going to start here. Now, some options for you. You can take your finger pad and write, 3 times x is 3x. Okay, you can also, if you don't like to write on it because you feel like it's messy, you can type on it. So if you click the T, you can go down here and type your 3x. Rather than writing, you can type. Or if you would rather write it on paper, that's fine with me. It's fine if you write it on paper. I'm okay either way. I also, if you're sitting in the room, have some mouses. Would anyone like to try a mouse so they can write? Easier than the finger pad. You can if you'd like to. Anybody want to try one? Yes? Anybody else? There's one person? Okay. Some of them have never been used before. You just plug it in and go. Okay, you ready? All right, go ahead and do this connection to prior learning. You're just using the distributive property. 3 times x and 3 times positive 9 would give you 3x plus 27. And that's as far as you can go. Okay, I could also just write it if I wanted to. 3x plus 27. Okay, there's also, I think there's a text box down here if you want to type it down here. But now that I know you can type it in here, which I think is a new feature, go ahead and do those other two, please. See what you come up with. Okay, Zach, so you have to go to, when you get this screen pulled up right here, you have to click this little arrow right here next to the 2. You don't actually sign in with Google, which is what we usually do. Just click this arrow. Let me know if you still can't get in, okay? Good. And I don't know why it does that sometimes. Sometimes it does that and sometimes it doesn't. I must be clicking something, but I'm not sure what I'm clicking. All right, so if we look at the first one or the second one, -4 times 2x would be -8x, and -4 times -8 would be positive 32. You don't turn it in, Zoom. You'll have to type some answers here and there, but you don't have to type these. Okay. All right, and then if you need some time for the last one, I'll give you about 30 seconds or so. And again, if you want to type it, if you have your Chromebook on the INTL setting, when you hit Shift-6, it'll push your exponent up. Okay, the other thing you can do is on this part down here, if I want to, I can click that and then put 5x. And then if I go to the keyboard, I can click the exponent to the 3rd. And I don't remember what the rest of the problem is, but this little math type right here gives me a way to type the exponents as well, if you want to do that. You can also just write it. And I'm not sure about the typing up here, if that happens up here or not. I'm not sure. We'll find out. I'll try it. Okay, so this one would be 5x to the 3rd power. No, it just put shift in there. And then plus 20x to the 2nd. Okay, so 5x to the 3rd power, because I multiplied 5 times 1. and then x to the first times x to the second. We learned then last chapter, we add the exponents. So that's to the third because there's a 1 here. Plus 20x to the 1 plus 1 is 2. Hey, how'd you do on those? Did you get them right? Any of them? Okay, good. All right, let's go to slide 3. I want you to categorize these, please. Put them, sort them somehow. Can't get this wrong. However you see it is right. I just want to know what you're thinking. Okay, so give this a try. See what you come up with. Put them in categories. You can do 2 groups or 3 groups or 4 groups, whatever. Whatever you'd like to. Please try that. Please move them around. This is period 4. 28 students. Okay. Okay. So what'd you do? How'd you categorize them? What happened here? Anthony, tell me how you sorted them.
I did one category was they begin with X and exponent, and the other ones wait with one that don't have an X exponent.
Okay, so like this one was in a category and that one was not, right? It was in a different category. So what about the 6x one? Did you put that with the one with the exponents or no? Okay, so that goes over here. That goes there with that one. This one goes here. If I'm doing anything wrong, different than you tell me. I think that goes here, according to the sorting. Does the 5x squared go with the x squared with the x first?
No,
It goes over there. Okay. And the x to the 5th does. Right? So this is, you have 4 cards in this category and everything else is over here. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So he did it if the term in the front was an x to some power. And then everything else when it was like a, this category is x to some power and this category is not. Okay, that's good. What else? Who did something different? I want to know what your thinking is. Nobody wants to tell me. Jonas, tell me what you did. Oh, okay, the short one. So you mean like, when you say short ones, you mean like 2 terms? Yeah. Okay, so you put like that and that and that and that over there, and there should be another short one. Right, there it is. Right, that's okay, I totally get that. If there's 2 terms, what's it called? It's called a binomial. That's right. Like a bicycle has two wheels. These are binomials. And then over here, these have three terms, three. Here's a four terms and three terms. So if they're all together, this would be polynomials over here, and this would be binomials. But if I pull this one out and I have three categories, I can see in the chat that Zung did binomials and trinomials. Zung, did you also have this one that was four terms, so it was separate? Yeah, so that one's just called a polynomial. So this is binomials because it's two terms. These are trinomials because it's three terms. And these are polynomials because it's four terms. Who did it like that? Nobody here, but people online did that? Okay, is there any other way to do it? Somebody do it. Daniel, did you do it differently? What did you do?
I put them all on the map.
You have one category?
Yeah.
Okay, so that isn't really doing anything because they were all separated before, right? I mean, we know they're math, it's math class. Did somebody else do something different? What about standard form? Gonzalo did standard form. He said, ordered them from largest exponent to smallest. Okay, so this would not be in standard form because the largest exponent would be this x to the first. So that would be no standard form. So I'm gonna put that over here. Is this one in standard form? It goes 5, 2, 1, 0. Is that in standard form? It totally is. So I'm gonna start this category here. Hey, how about this one? Is this in standard form with the -3 in the front? No, the constant's supposed to be in the back. So that's not in standard form. Hey, how about this one? Is that in standard form, x to the second plus 8? That's in standard form. So I'm going to make it small again and put it with the other one. Okay, so I've got one that's in standard form and one that's not. Let's go through these. Good job, Gonzalo. All right, how about this one? Is that in standard form? No, because x squared should have been first and it's not. So that's a no. How about that one? Is that in standard form? Yeah, for sure. It is. We need to move it over here. How about that one? Standard form? Yeah. X squared is first. How about this one? Standard form or no? Yeah. How about this one? Standard form? No, because x squared should have been first. And then how about that one? No. Okay, so standard form is important. Okay, it's important because when you do the problems, you have to write the answers in standard form. It's like leaving a fraction unsimplified. You have to put the answers in the polynomials in standard form. The biggest exponent, then the next, kind of like Papa Bear, Mama Bear, Baby Bear. Okay, they walk in that order according to size. Same thing for the exponents on the x. Okay, all right, very good. Did anybody do something different than those couple things? There were a couple ways you could look at it. Anybody else? Okay, very good. You can't get this wrong unless you don't do it. All right, so thinking outside the box, we did one of these yesterday on the problem solving. So 1 1/2 times 3 1/4. Let's stick this into the Desmos calculator and see what it is. Desmos.com. I'm going to go to the scientific calculator and type it in. So 1, and I want a fraction, and 1/2, and then multiply. What's the other number? I lost it. Thank you. 3 1/4. So 3 and 1/4. And I don't want a decimal. I want a fraction. I so can, yes, Zoom, I can do that. So I get 39/8, which would be what is a mixed number? How many times does 8 go into 39? 4 times, and what's left over? Not 11. 7/8. So it'd be 4 7/8. So if I go back here, I can do what Zing, it was 4 7/8 before I forget. Okay, so I can do what Zing said. I can multiply 2 times 1, 2, plus 1, and get 3/2, changing them to impropers. And then 4 times 3 is 12, plus 1 is 13/4. And then if I go straight across when I multiply, I get 39/8, which is what the Desmos calculator gave me, right? We learned how to do that in middle school in 6th and 7th grade. No calculator allowed back then, right? Okay, so what I want to show you today is that you could use the method from FOIL that we're going to be learning to do mixed numbers, just like you do it when we do FOIL in binomials. So if I take this 1 and I multiply it by the 3, and then I take the 1 and I multiply it by the 1/4. So 1 times 3 and 1 times 1/4. Okay, so I took this 1 and I kind of distribute it to the other fraction. And then I do the same thing with the 1/2. So 1/2 times the front number 3 and 1/2 times the back number 1/4. And then I add them together, I should get the same 4 and 7/8. Because I'm like using a fancy distributive property is what I'm kind of doing. Okay, so let's look and see if we do. So 1 times 3 is 3. What's 1 times 1/4? Yeah, anything times itself is anything times 1 is itself. How about 1/2 times 3 over 1? What is that? 3 over 2. And then what's 1/2 times 1/4? 1/8. That's right. If I add these three together, I should get 39 over 8. Let's see if we do. Let's see if I can remember. 3, 1/4, 3 halves, and 1/8. Let's see. 3 plus 1 over 4 plus, what was the third one? I don't remember. 3 over 2. 3 over 2. And the last one was 1/8, right? 1 over 8. Like I get the same thing, 39 over 8. Okay, it works the same way with binomials. Okay, so when I go back here and I look at this one right here, this first one, y plus 8 and y minus 4, I'm going to do the same thing I just did on those mixed numbers. I'm going to multiply the y by the front y and the back -4. And then I'm going to multiply the 8 by the y and the -4. And then I'm going to combine like terms and it's going to produce a trinomial. Okay, so it's very similar to the way that you could multiply mixed numbers and get the answer. Now, we didn't learn it that way. That's a lot of work. Okay, but we are going to do that this way. There's only one way to do this. There's no changing this to impropers. I mean, they're expressions. You can't do that. All right, so if I go back to the notes, this is what you want to write in your notebook. Okay, so when we multiply binomials, we use the FOIL method. Remember, binomials are 2 terms. So it might look like this, y minus 8 times y plus 4. Okay, a binomial times a binomial. If you don't have your notebook out, get it out, because we're gonna kind of go back and forth. If you don't have your notebook out, get it out, please. All right, so write this down. And FOIL's an acronym. The F stands for first. The O stands for outer. The I stands for inner. And L stands for last. Okay, they mean something. You'll use FOIL for the rest of the time you have a math class. It doesn't go away. Factor and FOIL, they're opposites. They don't go away. It's kind of like negatives. You learn negatives in the 6th grade, and they haven't gone away since, and they're not gonna. Okay, factoring and FOIL, they stick around too. Please write this in your notebook. This is section 7.2, if you want to label what we're doing. Please write it down and I'll explain it on the next slide. All right, I'm heading to the next slide. Does everyone have it? Most of you look like you're done writing. All right, I'm on slide 6. All right, put your pencil down and just watch me do the first one. I'm going to write it. Okay, just watch. Here I go. So I do y times y. Y times y would be y to the second power because they both have exponents of 1. I would add their exponents. Base stays the same. That's my f in FOIL. My front terms, I multiplied y times y. O stands for outside, so I'm going to multiply y times -4. So that's -4y. I stands for inside, so I'm going to multiply +8 times y. So plus 8y. And L stands for last. I'm going to multiply 8 times -4, which is -32. And then these two in the middle very often are like terms and can be added together. So now we're putting together 7-1 and 7-2. So y squared stays the same. -4y and +8y is +4y. And -32 stays the same. This is my answer. Multiplying a binomial times a binomial almost always makes a trinomial. Okay, so that's kind of a check at the end. Did I get a trinomial answer? Trinomial is 3 terms. If I didn't, I need to look at it again because something might be wrong. Okay, so pick up your pencil or pick up your typewriter or your keyboard, and we're going to try number 2. You're going to do it with me. I'm going to change colors. Feel free to use whatever color you want, or if you'd rather type it, then type it. That's totally fine. Whatever. You can also use the text box over here. If you want to use the math type, that's totally fine if you want to do it over here. If you want to be on paper, that's also fine. Do what makes you happy. All right, so we start with F, which is front, which is C times C. So what's C times C, everybody? It's C squared, right? So I put C to the second power. I want a pencil. C to the second power. I did C times C. Then I do outside, which is C times -12. What would that be? That would be -12C. I just shove them together. Then I do inside. -6 times C is -6C. And -6 times -12, it's positive something. What's 6 times 12? 72, I think. And then I can add the middle ones together. Almost always can. So these two in here can be added together because they're like terms. So my final answer then would be what? What do I start with? C squared, and then what? When I add these together, what do I write? -18C, and then I just drop the plus 72. This is my answer. Notice how it's a trinomial. Okay, that's kind of one of your mental checks. Oh, yeah, it's a trinomial. It's probably right. Okay, watch your signs when you're multiplying and make sure you have 4 terms when you're done. I mean, if you think about it, if I draw a rectangle and I tell you that this side is C minus 6 and this side is C minus 12, you'd multiply to get area. This would be the area of that. Length times width. And that's really all we're doing is multiplying length times width. Okay, let's try another one. I think I have locked it. Go to number 7, please. Yeah, number 7. And I will go there too. All right, I want you to try number 3 by yourself. This is the you do. You try number 3. So 2W times W. Start with that. If you want to write FOIL up here so you can go through the steps, great. If you don't want to do that, that's fine too. Whatever makes you happy. You can type it using math type, or you can write it, or you can text on here, or you can type it on here. I don't really care how you do it as long as you try it. Give this a try, please. We're on number 3 on slide 7. If you're writing it, that's perfectly fine, but type the answer when you're done. Good job, Jonah. Good job, Parker. Good job, Junice. That's right. Ellie, you're missing your middle term. Your outside and inside. You did the front and you did the last, but there's no middle. The outside and inside are missing. Good job, Jonah. That's it. That's the whole thing. Doesn't look like anybody's actually writing it. No, it is. Zach is. All right, so look, guys, some of you are confused about the first step. So 2w times 2 or times w would be 2w to the second power. Because there's a 1 right here. 2 times 1 is 2. W times w is w to the second. Okay, then the outside would be 2w times 7. So that's plus 14w. Now do inside and last. It's exactly what we did on that mixed number problem. We just made sure they all multiplied by each other, all 4 of them. Finish it up, do inside and last, and then combine your 2 middle terms. Yeah, if you know how to do number 4, go for it. If you know what you're doing. Take off. Gonzalez got it. Parker's got it. Jonah's got it. Now combine the 2 middle, Santiago. Hang has it. Jonas has it. No, you have it, but you need a sign between the w squared and the 9. There should be a plus or a minus in there. Connecting them. Can you put a sign in there? All right, so if I finish this up and I do inside now, that's negative 5 times w. So negative 5w, and negative 5 times 7 is negative 35. So then I just need to add these 2 in the middle because they're like. So my final answer is 2w squared plus 9w minus 35. I'd say about half of you have it. Okay, when you multiply the binomial times the binomial, you should have 4 terms every single time. If you don't, something's wrong. And then the 2 middle ones, almost always, we put them together. We combine them. So if we look at the other one, it's got an X and a Y in it. So we just have to pay attention. So 8X times 5X. What's 8 times 5, everybody? 40. And what's X times X? X to the second, right? And just like W times W was W to the second. And C times C was C to the second on the first screen. Right, now we do outside. So 8X times negative 4, Y. So what's 8 times negative 4? Negative 32. And then I just put them in alphabetical order, X, Y. Now I'm doing inside. What's positive 2 times positive 5? 10. And it's X, Y. So again, I put them in alphabetical order. And then last, 2 times negative 4 is negative 8. And what's Y times Y? Y to the second. That's right. And then again, the middle two can be added together. They can be combined because they're both X, Y. The outside two just drop straight down. So 40X squared is my first one. In the middle, I have negative 22XY because I added them, and minus 8Y squared. This is my answer. Questions? Are you sure? Somebody asked a really good question in the other class for this term right here, the third term. How come this term wasn't positive 10YX? Because when you multiply 2Y and 5X, the Y's in front. But can't I switch the X and the Y and it not matter? Yeah, because it's multiply. I can put it in whatever order I want. So I want it in the XY order because that's what the other one's in. Then I can add them together. If I would have put YX, I might not have noticed I could put them together. All right. Go to the next slide, please. Number 8. Okay, you're going to try all 4 of these. If you want to do them on your paper, that's fine. If you want to write here, great. If you want to type here, great. If you want to use the text box and use the math type, also fine. Okay, if you are writing on your own piece of paper, please type the answer somewhere so I can see that you know what you're doing. I'm going to give you 3 minutes to try these by yourself, and then I'm going to put you in groups. If you have a question in that 3 minutes, please holler at me. Let me help. I want to. I want to help. Please let me. If there's something you don't understand or you're stuck on something, let me help. Please try this. Yes. What? I don't have a charger. Does anyone? Do you have a charger? I don't have one. I don't bring my charger to school. Anybody have one that she can borrow? Daniel, do you? You guys have the same kind of computer? Thank you, Daniel. You're a lifesaver. What's tomorrow's date? It's March, right? March the 3rd. Okay. It's March the 2nd. Thank you. Tomorrow's the 3rd. Okay. So we have so So you have another minute or so to work on these. They're on your own screen if you're having trouble. Oh, and I did do for chapter 6, I did the little thingies. I just haven't hung them up yet. If you got an A or a B, I'm just not there yet. I'm working on it. Oh, you know something else? I told you guys yesterday, if you were on the Google Meet, we're getting a student teacher on Monday. Did I tell you guys that? Yeah. Mrs. Rumler. And then also I printed grade sheets for you. So I'm going to pass those out while you're working. If you're virtual, I sent them to you email. So your parent or whoever takes care of you just has to email me that they got it and you get your extra credit point. So if you get this signed, you get an extra credit point added to your test. So if you had a 30, now you'll have a 31. It also has any missing work you have on here. So if you have any missing work, you are welcome to get that done. I'll take it up to March the 20th. Yes. You know, it would probably, you could probably stay in your seat if you plug it in there. Or you just want to be right there, you can if you want. I don't care. If you're happy where you're at, that's fine.
Oh, yeah, Miss Tellas, I just turned in my dry erase review.
Oh, okay. I printed these yesterday, Ephraim, so I'll fix it. I'm gonna put it right here, okay?
Just in case it's on.
Did I give one to everybody? Did everybody get one? Okay, these must be all good. Again, if you get it signed, bring it back. I'll add a point to your test. And all missing work is due before spring break. All right, if you are virtual, I'm going to put you in a breakout group. I'm just going to do 2 breakout groups, 7 people each. Actually, 6 people each, because I'm 2 of those people. I want you guys to talk about your answers. Okay, so I'm going to put you in the breakout groups. Please don't be scared. Please don't leave because you don't like the breakout group. You can chat if you don't want to talk. Okay, so check your answers 1, 2, 3, and 4 with each other. I don't want this breakout group. Just want 2. All right, breakout groups, here you go. Talk to each other. All right, you guys in the room. So James and Ephraim, you guys are going to talk about those 4 answers. And Jonas and Daniel, you guys are going to talk about the 4 answers. And Saba and Anthony, because you're sitting right there, you guys are going to talk. And then Stuart, let's have you, would you rather join? Let's have you go in front. Can we have you go in front with Daniel and Jonas? That'd be good. And then Nomi and Pang, you guys are going to talk. Okay? You got it? All right, talk about the answers you have done. Go.
All right, for the first one, I got x squared plus 4x minus 6. And then what's the second one?
We're going to make x squared plus 4y minus 4x.
What is that?
4y is 22 plus 4y minus 7. 13y.
Yeah, I got 2y squared plus 13y minus 7.
And you get 2 times 7 equals
14, yeah, but then you have to add to the other.
2y times y equals 2y
Negative 1 times y equals negative 1.
Wait, what?
You have to add this before.
I think it was right, Ephraim, on number 2.
He was right, or?
I think you were. 2y squared plus 13y minus 7. That's what you said, right?
Yeah.
That's correct.
I'm just. I could not sleep. I had a quick run. I had to second this stuff.
And I know I had 8 hours sleep.
I haven't got 8 hours of sleep since last night. I was sleeping.
The last week, for about the past 7 days, I was sleeping 2 hours a day.
I cannot sleep. But lately I've been watching asthma videos and they've been putting me to sleep. Like, you know, like those cuppings?
Yeah.
I've been watching those videos. It's like, Alright, too early.
So that was like 2 hours.
When you guys go to a breakout group, can you still see my screen?
No.
No, okay. Did you guys talk about all four? Okay, if you haven't noticed, I put the answers on the front board. You can check to make sure you're right. And then I can work through any of them that you would like me to, something that you didn't get that you don't know why. Okay, just typing or writing answers that you don't understand isn't helping you. Okay, so if you don't understand something, you need to find out why, which would be asking me which one, and I'll go through it for you. James.
2.
All right, number 2. All right, I'm going to bring these guys back. Ooh. 7 seconds. And then I got to reshare. Oh, it looks like I'm still sharing. Okay, so I think you can still see my screen. In fact, I'm pretty sure you can because it says stop sharing right here. So if you were in a breakout group, I put the answers to the multiplying or their products over here. Check to make sure it's right. When you're in the breakout groups, did you talk yesterday? Did you guys talk in the breakout? Tell me the truth. I want to know. Are we wasting our time when I put you in there?
We were being honest with it, but I said konnichiwa to Peng.
Did you do any typing, like chatting typing?
Yeah, to Peng.
That's okay. If all you said was konnichiwa, did you do any math typing?
Yeah.
Like talk about problems?
Yeah, only for about, I don't know, one problem.
Well, there was only one yesterday. It was just a mixed number problem. Okay, so what about you guys? Did you actually talk when you were in the breakout groups? Can I get some honesty here? Okay, good. Good. That makes me happy. Okay. Okay, good. 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 Okay, that makes me want to clap. All right, so is there anything there that you don't understand that you would like me to go over? Because those are all correct. Everything you understand, all of them, because I'm going to make this harder. Know me. Number 3. Okay, so let me get rid of them. So number 3. So number 3 is funny because it's written weird. 18 plus A and 2 minus A. I'm so glad you asked. So 18 times 2 is 36. And 18 times negative A is negative 18A. And then 2 times A is 2A. And A times negative A is negative A squared. And then I just have to add the middle. So 36. And actually, honestly, it would be better to put this in standard form. So negative A squared. These two would be negative 16A and then plus 36. I like that better than it turned around. Standard form is better than not. So I just added the 2 in the middle. What about that last one? Did everybody get the last one?
Yeah.
When there were multiple variables? You want me to do it? Okay, let me do the last one. Naomi, you ready for me to get rid of this? Okay, so the last one. So 2a minus b and 3a plus 5b. Okay, what's 2a times 3a? 6a squared. Okay, what's 2a times 5b? 10ab. Good. What is 3a times negative b? Negative 3ab. I've got a plus there. And then the last one would be negative b times 5b. So that's negative 5b to the second, right? So then I can add these two in the middle. So 6a squared stays plus 7ab minus 5b squared. Make sense? Make sense? Okay, because I'm going to make this harder. If you don't understand these, you're not going to be able to do the next ones. Does everybody understand? You guys are all good? What about you guys online? Do you understand? Are we good? Good. Kinda? Okay. Just some practice. All right, here we go. Next screen. All right, just says that x minus 3 times x plus 5 is equivalent to x2 minus 2x minus 15. Is she right? If not, explain and correct her mistake. So I want to know if you know if she's right or she's not right. And then over here, you can either write it, you can type it, or you can go down here and use the math type. Up to you. Okay, you're doing this one on the screen. Okay, no paper on this one. Everybody's doing this one on the screen. I want to know if you can do it. Is she right? Everybody try it, please. Nobody just sit there. Don't get left behind.
For the x2, is that x2?
What do you think? Is she right? If we work this FOIL out, x minus 3 and x plus 5. She's wrong, isn't she?
Yeah.
This is x squared plus 5x minus 3x minus 15. So she's off by a sign, isn't she? This plus right here should have been a plus, not a minus. Also, this little 2 is weird, isn't it? Because it should have said, if I typed it, x shift 2. So if you said that x times x is not x2, you're right, it's not. It's x squared. Okay, that wasn't the intentional error, but for some reason it's like that. So it could have been either this sign here in front of the 2, or that she forgot the shift on the 2, because x2 is not the same as x squared. Either one of those is right. So good job. Good job. Okay. How you feeling about FOIL? Good stuff? Hey, you learned something new today, right? All right, so now let's make this longer. All right, so we don't always get to multiply 2 binomials. Sometimes you have to multiply 2 polynomials, or in this case, a binomial, which has 2 terms, times a trinomial, which has 3 terms. And you can see at the top, I've got those red little rainbows. That's showing the distributive property from the 3a. And the purple or black ones, I'm not sure which one that is showing the distributive property from the 4. Okay, so I'm going to write this out. If you want to write it with me, great. If you just want to watch this one, that's okay too. I'm okay either way. Okay, but honestly, if you're going to write it, I'd put it in your notebook. So when you hit the test in a month or so after spring break, and you have a little things to explain, I'd put it in the notebook, because we'll do a bunch of stuff between now and then. This will definitely be on the test. All right, here we go. So we start with 3a, and we're going to multiply by a squared. I take the 3a and I multiply it by a squared. That is 3a to the 3rd. Then I take the 3a and I multiply it by negative 12a. That is negative 36a squared. Then I take the 3a and I multiply it by positive 1. That is positive 3a. Okay, so I've done the 3a. I've multiplied all the ones in the second parenthesis, and I'm done with it. So now I'm going to use the 4, and I'm going to do the exact same thing. So 4 times a squared is positive 4a squared. 4 times negative 12 is negative 48a. And 4 times positive 1 is positive 4. Okay, a couple ways to know if I've done something wrong. Things I look for. In the blue, I was looking for 3, 2, 1 on the exponent, and I got it. So I knew I was good there. Okay, in the red, I'm looking for 2, 1, no exponent. So I'm looking for a descending order or some kind of pattern there. If there's no pattern, I probably made a mistake. So now I'm going to combine like terms. So 3a to the 3rd is first. Okay, then I add the second power. So that's minus 32a squared. Notice when I add, I don't change the exponents. That's from yesterday. I only manipulate the coefficients. Next are the a's. So 3a and negative 48a, negative 45a, and then plus 4 is last. That's my answer. That's my answer. So it's kind of like FOIL on steroids, right? I mean, look at all those rainbows at the top. When we do FOIL, there's only 4 of them. On that one, there's 6. Okay, so if you wrote down in your notebook, which I think is a wise move, that's my final answer. I can't add anything else because nothing else has like terms. Questions on this? All right, are you ready to try one? It's time. You just have to stay organized. Okay, individually, the pieces aren't hard. It's the whole big picture that's hard because there's so much going on. But if you do it a step at a time and you stay organized and you can read your writing, you're going to be fine. All right, let's try this one. This is a trinomial times a trinomial. Okay, I want you to try this. Okay, start with the 2b squared. Multiply the 2b squared by each one of these. Then you'll do the same thing with the 7b. Multiply the 7b by each one of these. Then you'll do the 9. Multiply the 9 by each one of them in the second parenthesis. Please try it. If you write it on your paper, that's fine. Write the final answer somewhere on the screen so I can see it. Please. If you're writing on the screen, that's great. We're almost done. I'm losing some of you. Please join us on slide 11. We're almost done. All we have left to do is the story problem. This is the last one you're actually going to work out. The story problem, I'm just going to show you how to set it up, and that's it. Please try it. Go out with a right answer, or at least a right method. That seems noisy today. Remember, the ones that you write down, your exponent should be in descending order. So b to the fourth, b to the third, b to the second. Then you start over. B to the third, b to the second, b. And you start over again. B to the second, b, no b. That's a way to check to make sure you're doing it correctly. I think your answer is going to be 5 terms long. Okay, I'm going to do the first line, and then I'll wait again. Check your first line and see if it's right. Here we go. So this is 2b to the fourth. This is 6b to the third. And negative 2b squared. So that one's done. And I'm going to move to the next one. 7b. So that would be 7b to the third. 21b squared. And minus 7b. It doesn't even fit on one line. It's so big. A little ridiculous. There. Okay, I did that one too. All right, and then my last one is the 9. So 9b squared, 27b, and minus 9. My 7s, I'm having trouble making them not look like 9s. There. Does your line look like mine? Check it, because you can't get it right if it doesn't. Might not be 2 rows, but does it look like mine? All right, now go back and gather up your like terms. Start with 2b to the fourth. It's front in the front. It has the highest exponent. Then gather up your to the third powers. Gather up yours to the second powers. Gather up your b's. Minus 9 will be last, and it won't have anybody to get with. So we're combining what we did today with what we did yesterday.
I got the line right, I just don't know what's the line.
Say it again.
All the ones that look alike.
So like the B's.
I don't know.
So Ephraim, the B's that have the same exponent is what you add together. So 2b to the fourth, that's the only one. So that one's first.
Oh, okay.
Then you add the 6b to the third and the 7b to the third because they're both b to the third.
That's 6.
Isn't it 6? 2 times 3? The tricky thing is that you're multiplying the coefficients, but you're adding the exponents. That's the tricky thing. You got to keep it straight. Exasperated? So what is that? 19 and 9. Is that 28? All right, here we go. So the 2b to the fourth is on its own. I put it in the front because it's got the highest exponent. I add the 2 that have the third power. So that's 13b to the third. And then I add the 3 that have the second power. 19 plus 9, I think, is 28. And then the b's need to be added. So that's 20b. And then minus 9. That's my answer. Anybody get it? What's confusing? Adding the like terms is confusing?
Yeah.
So that's from yesterday. So did you do the homework from yesterday? Then that's part of it. That's why it was first. What, James? Minus 9.
No. Is that a 20? No, 2B, huh?
2b to the fourth. It just isn't right nicely with the DESMOS here.
Oh, yeah.
Like that. Like that. Is it better? Can you tell it's a 4 now? Yeah, 2b to the fourth. That's a 4. I just copied it from up here. That's all I did. Okay.
You got it right?
All right.
That's what's that.
There's a few of these on your homework so you can practice.
I'll tell you.
Hey, you're going to have to write down work for all problems on the homework because FOIL takes work. All right, here's the last one. You might want to put this one in your notebook, not on the DESMOS screen because it's a story problem.
I didn't get the answer.
Oh, I'm sorry. Back up.
Hold on.
Hi, we're on the last slide. It's okay. You can join us anyway.
Is that 100 babies?
13b to the third. It's FOIL on steroids. I mean, I don't have an acronym for it. It would have to be 9 letters long. But yeah, it's a form of FOIL. You got it, James? All right. All right, so here's the story problem. I'd put this in your notebook. So we're not going to work it out. We're just going to set it up. So it says, find the area. Write your answer in standard form. It says A equals LW. Well, that's the area formula for a rectangle. So the long side over here is your length. And the short side is your width. If you mix those up, it's not a big deal. But I just multiply them. So my area is going to be 2a minus 8 multiplied by a plus 1. How do you do that? What do you use? Don't you use FOIL?
Yeah.
You totally use FOIL. Okay, so you're gonna do 2a squared, I will work it out, plus 2a minus 8a minus 8, and then you'll combine the middle. Okay, so we're just multiplying, that's all we're doing. Good job, Gonzalo. All right, the last slide is how'd you do today? How do you feel? Okay, the last slide is how do you feel? If you pick one, that means I could give you a quiz. I'm not going to give you a quiz, but I could give you a quiz right now and you'd get 100. If you pick 2, you're okay. You just need some practice. And if you pick 3, you are lost, and you could use some help. Okay, so I'm going to that slide now. So pick one of these, which applies to you. And then you're going to tell me something that you learned today. So I'm going to pick 2. And then explain my thinking. I learned what?
Can I say like I'm 2.5?
I don't know how you was. Yeah, I guess you can if you want.
Explain.
Sure, and explain, sure, if you want. Now, if you haven't done your 7.1 homework, I bet this is difficult, okay, because it's all building. Next week, if you haven't done your 7.1 and 7.2 homework, 7.3 is going to be very difficult for you. It keeps building and building and building and building. It's not going to stop. This whole chapter is brand new information. If you don't come to the Google Meet or come to class, you're going to get lost. You're going to have to watch the video. Okay, it's not going to just be like, oh, I can just pick it up. You didn't do this in 8th grade. You didn't do this in 8th grade. It's not something you did before. Okay, then the last thing I want you to do is this problem right here. I want you to come up with the answer here in this text box or this writing box. Explain your steps when simplifying. Write or type your answer. And then you can start your big ideas assignment. Make sure on your big ideas assignment that you show work for all the problems. I didn't do anything in my head today. Please write all the problems out. I don't care if you copy the problem, but you're going to have a step in there because you always have to combine like terms.
We exit out when we're done.
Yeah, it automatically saves because I can see it live. So what'd you do in gym, Ron? What? You did work? Like paper and pencil work? Oh. Just throw it in the trash.
Oh, okay.
Thank you. All right, so I'm headed to big ideas now to show you what it looks like. If you are online and you would like to leave and work on your assignment, that's fine. Before you go, don't forget about your grade sheet, getting it signed. And I'm probably going to set some of the story problems up for these guys. So if you would like your story problems set up for you, you might want to stay. But you're welcome to leave if you're online. Let me know when you're ready to start big ideas and I can help you set some of the story problems up. So Ram, you're gonna have to pick this up here. Get out a piece of paper and go to big ideas. If you need paper, guys, there's some in the bookshelf on the top. like always. Just waiting for everybody to get there. April 21st, okay. $134. 135. Who's in 135? Do you guys know where room 135 is? Where is it? English? Okay, I don't know. I only know the math hall. I don't really know anything else.
Yeah, for sure, math teacher.
Yeah. And I don't get to take all the classes that you guys take, so I don't get to. You don't have an assignment for big ideas, huh? Look in your, do all of you have an assignment in big ideas?
It's in your,
Oh, you know why? It's an overdue because I changed the test. Remember it was supposed to be last week or the week before. So that's why. I'll change it right now. I changed it for the other class. I thought it automatically changed yours. So let's see. Yeah, there it is. No, that's 7-1. Yeah, of course. Why don't you have a 7-2? They have it. Let's see if I can do it. Hold on 1 second. I'm sorry, it's not right. All students. It's not your class. That's your class. You sure don't. Okay, you need one. So hold on 1 second. Give me 30 seconds. Yeah, I almost clicked all. You don't want all of them, do you? I think I'm actually shorten it a little. See, actually, since I didn't do it, you guys kind of looked out. I just want the foil ones. No tables, no distributed property, foil. So we'll do these. And then I want these story problems. And I have 3 of these. The other class has to do all 8 of those. And then the 2 story problems, 43 and 44. Also, there's a place for you to find or to listen to a live tutor when you don't understand how to do something. I click that you can do that every single time. Do you know how to get to the live tutor? Does anybody in this room know how to get there? All right, hit refresh on Big Ideas. It should be there now. Hit refresh on Big Ideas. It should be there now. Good. I actually shortened it quite a bit. The other class has a lot more than you do. All right, so how about the story problems? Does anybody want me to help you with those before you leave? We have about 15 minutes. Anything there that you'd like me to help with? The setup on. I've got 33, 34, 35 up here. Do you know how to do these? I know that you know how to do the rectangle one. What about a triangle? Do we know how to do the triangle one? So let's do it. I need a smart board. Scoochar. Okay, formula for a triangle. Area of a triangle, what is it? Area is base times height, right? So we're going to do that exactly here. So 1/2. And then base is p plus 1. And height is 2p. That's supposed to be a p. Minus 6. So would it be easy to take half of p plus 1 or take half of 2p minus 6? Yeah, let's take half of that one. So p plus 1 is going to stay the same. What's half of 2p? P, or 1p. And what's half of negative 6? Yep, and then you just FOIL it. Does that make sense? That's all it is. All it is. Is there another one that you'd like to see? Take a look at 33, 34, 43, and 44. Those are your story problems. So you have to FOIL, so that'd be p squared minus 3p plus 1p minus 3. And then you'd add the two in the middle together. Any others that you want me to set up? What about you guys online? Are there any story problems you want me to set up? I did 43 and 44 in the other class. Nobody? Okay, Zoom. Let's go back to the first one since they don't have any questions. Okay, so b plus 3 and b plus 7 when we multiply those. So this is number 21. That's what you're starting on. When we multiply two binomials, we use the FOIL method. The F stands for first. Rem, are you paying attention? The F stands for first. The O stands for outside. I is inside, and L is last. And that's the order in which I multiply. So I'm going to do b times b, which is b to the second power, and b times positive 7, which is plus 7b. And then I'll do 3 times b, which is plus 3b, and 3 times 7, which is 21. So I'm multiplying this term by both in the back and this term by both in the back. So it's kind of like the distributive property for the b and the distributive property for the 3, okay, in that second parenthesis. And then I can add these two together because they're like terms. So this one and this one are just going to drop straight down. And then 7b and 3b is 10b. So this is my answer. Okay, you try the next one. Do it on your paper. I just did 21 for you. Say it again. Okay. So you want to work on 7.1? Okay, go ahead. Who needs help? Anybody? None of you need help? You all got this? Okay.